is once again time for another Ramblings on the Road with your host, TheHarleyJackson. Yes, I know it's been like 3 years since the last video, but, well, since the last Ramblings on the Road at least. But I'm back, baby, and better than ever. Actually, no, it's the same car. I'm still the same person. So, yeah, you know, same shit, different day, basically. Well, today's Rambling on the Road is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. And for some reason, it just never happened. I thought it would be perfect for the Ramblings on the Road video, because it's essentially me rambling about some stupid crap. And that is GameStop's bullshit bait and switch tactics. And this only applies to like probably 1 out of every 4 or 5 GameStops I've ever been to. And only one in particular has done it so bad that I've had to actually point it out. And what bait and switch tactic is say you go to a GameStop, you find a game that you want, you're like, oh sweet, you look at it, it's got a nice cover, it's got the manual and everything, so you're like, sweet, this is the one I want, it's the same price as like all the rest of them on the shelf, so obviously you want the better copy there, because when they put something on the shelf, that is what you're selling to the customer. That's what I do at my job, that's what every store does. When something's on the shelf, that is the item that you sell to the customer. You see what you get, basically. Not at GameStop, apparently. Now, I have 2 different stories that kind of go with this topic. One was about 10 years ago. I was a wee lad of 12 or 13, so somewhere around that time. It was just after Dragon Ball, or Super Dragon Ball came on, not Dragon Ball Super. Super Dragon Ball Z. It was a PS2 fighting game made by the people who made Street Fighter 2. So it was, you know, just like a more down-to-earth fighting game rather than like, say, Budokai or Budokai Tenkaichi. And I really wanted it because I loved PS2 and I loved Dragon Ball Z. So, little Harley walks into the GameStop. He finds a copy. They had like a bin full of PS2 because this is when they were starting to really like try to shell out these. So I'm trying to think. 10 years ago, 2005. Yeah, probably around there. So they were trying to like get rid of all the PS2 stuff. It was like the starting time when they were starting to do it. So it was just a bin full of PS2 used pre-owned games. And so they had a couple copies. All of them didn't have the manual except for one. Now, this instance was kind of... Oh, Jesus. This instance was kind of weird because I was the only game I picked out. I brought it up to the counter. And when I brought it up there, they opened the case, obviously, to put the game in. And they also took out the manual. And I was like... At the time, I had no backbone or anything, so I didn't say crap. But I was, like, inside, I was like, why the heck are you doing that? That's, what the fuck? And, yeah, and then they gave me the game. I was like, okay, thank you. And then, my mom was driving me around, so I told my mom that, and she turned around, and she's like, no, we're getting you that manual. That's what you got. That's what you should be getting. And obviously, she was right. And so we walked back in, and I'm like, yeah, I picked out the copy with the manual, and you guys took it out. And they're like, oh, okay. And they just threw down the manual on the counter. I was like, oh my god, what a bunch of douchebags. Now, as fate would have it, this very same GameStop, which at the time was a GameStop's in movies too, so remember those? Yeah, no one does. The very same GameStop. This was last year, summertime, so probably almost a year ago. See, I wanted to make this video for a while. Same kind of bullshit, except to an even worse degree. And this time I didn't do anything about it because it was a super cheap game, and I was just like, whatever. The only thing I'm going to do about it is I'm never going to shop there again. And I will name drop the GameStop. So just, if you're wondering which GameStop location this is, it's in Minnesota. I will name drop it because I don't give a fuck anymore. Now... I went back because they were having a buy 2 get 1 free on all pre-owned games. I was like, you know what, I was in the area, I'd stop by because, you know, maybe pick up some cheap games. And I did find some cheap games. I got Saints Row the 3rd, Disgaea 3, and Red Dead Redemption. Now, Red Dead Redemption is the one we're going to be talking about here. But they're all like $5. So I was like, yeah, like $10 for 3 PS3 games that I'm going to play and enjoy, heck yeah. So I picked up all 3. Disgaea 3 only had 1 copy, and it did have the manual, so I was okay with that. Same Saints Row the 3rd had a couple copies, but they all had basically the same. And there was 2 different copies of Red Dead Redemption. One didn't have anything in, and one had the map, the manual, case artwork, obviously, everything. And I was like, yes, this is the one I want, obviously. And so I brought it up to the counter. Disgaea 3 was fine. Put the game in the disc. Or no, put the disc in the game case. Same thing with Saints Row the Third. I was like, okay, cool. And then they got to Red Dead Redemption, and the dude behind there pulls out one of those goddamn cheap-ass motherfucking... I'm sorry, I'm swearing a lot here. Generic black cases that break when you fucking close them. And I'll try to find a picture of one. I did take a picture of this, but it's probably long gone by now. You'll know the ones I'm talking about if you've ever been to GameStop. Those cheap, generic fucking black cases that are, like, so goddamn cheap. You look at them wrong and they'll break on you. No cover art, just the generic fucking blue-ass GameStop cover art that says the name in, like, fucking Arial font. And I'm like, whoa, can I get the one that I picked out, please? And he's like, no, it's the only one on the shelf. So we have to have one that's, like, on the shelf, so that's what people will see. I'm like, at the time, I was like, okay, I already bugged him, whatever. It's a $5 game. I'm not going to fucking raise a hissy fit over it. But in my head, and now, obviously, I'm like, one, there was 2 fucking copies out there with the case artwork, so what's the big idea here? And 2, you shouldn't be freaking even saying that to me, because that proves right there that that's exactly what you're doing. This bait and switch bullshit. So I don't know the employees, but I'm pretty sure it's the same guy who's been running it. But anyway, this was the GameStop in Elk River, Minnesota. I'm never shopping in that GameStop ever again because of that bullshit. It is... I just don't understand how they haven't gotten any complaints about this before. Am I the only one this has happened to? Twice in a row? Like 10 years separate? That makes no sense to me. Has this ever happened to anyone else at GameStop? If it has, please put it in the comments below, because I want to hear everyone's shitty-ass GameStop stories. And it can be about anything, but specifically I'm looking for this bait and switch stuff, because I swear to God, it's happened to other people. It has to have. It can't just be me. Big truck. So yeah, please let me know. This is probably a really short rant because that's pretty much all there is to say about it. But yeah, fuck that GameStop. Fuck that crappy practice. I've never had any other GameStop do that to me. Never had any other. I've been to Monticello, St. Cloud, some other ones probably out of state that I can't even remember, like in North Dakota and stuff. Not a single GameStop has done this bullshit to me, except for that one in Elk River. So fuck the Elk River GameStop. Thumbs up to all the other GameStops for not pulling this bullshit, even though I know all GameStops do, underhanded tactics, whatever. That one specifically just drives me nuts because I'm a collector. I like to have my stuff complete as possible, especially if you're going to give me the generic case and no case artwork. That is pure bullshit right there. I at least want the case artwork so I can see it on my goddamn shelf with the actual case. And again, this wouldn't be a problem. Like, if that was the copy on the shelf and I picked it out because I was wanting to buy that one for whatever reason, fine. That's perfectly fine. If it was the only one on the shelf, that's fine. You don't have it, I get it. That's the only one left. But if you advertise that you have a certain thing and you give me something else, that's bullshit. So thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next ramblings on the road, wherever that'll be. Probably 5 years from now in the year 2020. My phone falling over because I'm recording in a car. And that is